I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned this skill and became a global talent. You can too.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started.
Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. Welcome to product design class. Welcome to product design class. So, today we're going to be having an introduction to what product design is and everything we kind of will be treating along the way. But now let's even understand what product design is. Let's even know what we're going to be learning. Let's know what product design is, what UI UX is, because a lot of us mix UI UX design with product design, which are similar but actually not the same thing at all. So we're going to be treating that in this class. And I hope you all are excited as I am. I hope you all have had a great weekend, Easter break. I know there was public holiday on Friday and there's public holiday again today. So I'm here with our facilitators. I'm sure you during the DSA facilitator meetup we met Fola Shade, and then we have another facilitator which is Esther, who will be joining us and teaching us at least how to get started in product design basically. So Today's introduction class, and I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's going to be interactive. We're going to be having a quiz, and I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. So, I'm seeing the comments and I'm seeing like this happy emojis. So, let's keep the energy going. So, yes, let's get started. All right. So, today we're going to be looking at introduction to product design. Let me put the slides up. Okay. So maybe before I even dive in, do any of us even know what product design is or what UI UX design is? Because those are things we're going to be looking at. What although before we get to design thinking, we'll still like won't bombard all of you. So let's even start with what UI UX design is, what product design is, what's the difference between product design and UI UX design, and how does it work basically? Who is a product designer? Who is a UI UX designer? And then we'll now look at design thinking, because before you can design, you have to be able to think like a designer, and also other parts to it. So yeah, and then we'll look at the phases of design and a famous little quiz. So maybe I should not even show the definition here. Do any of us want to attempt the definition of what UI UX design? So what's UI? Let's must out. Do you know what UI is? I'm hearing UI UX. What is UI? Do any of us want to tell us what they know by UI? And I'm not saying Google it, so you can, but let's just attempt. What do you understand by UI? What do you understand by UX? Is it a word or is it an acronym for a word? So do any of us want to attempt to reply? Just put it in the comments. Okay, so Tosin said user interface. Abigail said user interface. Okay, that's correct. User interface and user experience. So when we hear UI UX, it's simply user interface and user experience design. So let's get started with UI. Do any of us know or have an idea what UI is? What's user interface? Before I go into the definition. Just anyone just want to attempt, maybe you're a designer or maybe you saw it somewhere. Do any of us know what UI is? Okay, so Peter said user interface is concerned with the visual elements, which is true, but it's not just visual elements, and would explain more later. But yes, it's concerned with visual elements of the design of a product, which is a digital product. Okay, any other definitions? What of UX? What do you think UX is? Yes, yeah, is Bamidele, user interface design is what users can interface with. That is very correct. Okay, so you design of what the users will interface with when using a digital product. Okay, so let's get started. Time is gone. So what's UI design? UI design is simply an area of design that focuses on creating the elements and interactive features of a user interface for digital products and applications. So you might now ask, what is a digital product? When we say product. A digital product, okay, so let me just put like this disclaimer. Product design is beyond websites and mobile apps. We have product design of shoe, product design of car, but the product design we're doing here is the one in tech, and that's on visual products. Sorry, on digital products. And by digital products, I'm talking about websites, mobile applications, dashboards, desktop applications, anything that has an interface on your phone, on your laptop, on maybe your TV. These are things we help design. So that's why we come to um, digital products. Digital products, you can't see it, you can't touch it. So you can't touch it, but you can see it, you can work with it. An example could be your WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a digital product that allows users to send messages. Instagram is a digital product that allows people to post images and videos. So that's what a digital product is. So what's now user interface design? It's simply the design of the elements and interactive features of the interface of a digital product. So if I want to use WhatsApp to send a message, I need to be able to type the message and choose the person I want to send the message to. So how do I type that message? Where do I even click to select the person I want to send the message to? There has to be a way to do that, and UI gives me that opportunity to do that. An interface I can click on, I can scroll, I can search, I can type, and then I can send. So that's what UI is. So let's move on to what UX is. So this is an image of a user interface. Um, this is a virtual school, like a learning management system, and then we get to see things about the school. So this product is telling me that, okay, these are the upcoming events, this is the calendar, these are the classes, statistics, exams. You just get to see what you'll be interacting with to get to a goal, which is why a product is built in the first place. What is the goal of this product? The goal of this product is probably to manage my classes, know upcoming events, and know what classes I have next, things like that. So this is an example of a UI, and the designing of this is UI design, or user interface design. Are we together? I hope we're not confused. I hope all of us are learning. All right. So, okay, so let's move on to user experience. Okay. Then this just another more clarification. So another thing about UI design is you're not just designing. It's not just about the goal. We are also saying that is it easy for me to use this application? Is it user friendly? Do I have to start going through a manual before I can actually use this application? Is it functional? Is it aesthetically pleasing? Is it something that can actually help me get the job done? So take for example, let's say WhatsApp now. Imagine if WhatsApp has like, before I can search someone, I have to go through maybe like three different steps. Maybe first I'll have to write the name, then scroll to find the name, then maybe call WhatsApp to verify the name is in my contact list before I can now send a message. Like before I was, I would just rather maybe go on Facebook and send the message and go and sleep. I'll just drop WhatsApp in one corner. So I want it such that it's easy for me to use and it's user friendly. I don't have to start consulting a manual. I don't have to start being confused. The colors are not affecting my eyes. It's okay, it's beautiful to look at. Not that I'm looking at it and then all the colors, the font is big, it's small. I don't even know where to click. I'm looking for where send button is. Maybe instead of send button being at the bottom, they put it at the top. And I'm like, where is this send button? So you want your UI design, or you want your user interface design to be user friendly, meaning that it's easy for anybody to use without a manual. Like on the first try, they kind of figure out what to do. I don't know if you had that experience when you see a new application, you have never used it in your life, but because you have an idea of how apps work, you can find your way around, and all of a sudden you know how to use it. So that's where it's user friendly, definitely easy to use, functional, gets the job done. Meaning, where I'm looking for send, I'm not scanning the whole phone because I want to send. I know where send button is, I know where home button is, I know where settings is, and then it's aesthetically pleasing. It's easy to look at. I'm not getting headache from just looking at it. So those are things we consider when we're actually going about the UI design. It's not just design, it's not just color. We are very deliberate, and over the course of this course, we would learn about how to choose the colors, how to choose images, how to choose text, fonts, pictures. As little as that, they have like so much power. You guys won't notice it at first, but as we go along, you now understand why did they use this color, why did they use this picture, why did they use this font, and then we can now apply it in our design, and then when we go about UI design. Okay, so let's go next to user experience design, which is UX design. So I hope we're all on the same page. Do we all understand? Are we good? All right. So that's it for user experience, user interface design. So what's now user experience design? User experience design is like a deeper dive. Like, okay, before you even start coloring and choosing color and choosing font and choosing, let it be fine, let it be small, let it be big, what am I creating? Like, we all know WhatsApp, yes. We know WhatsApp. Why I'll ever have WhatsApp on my phone is so I can communicate with someone. Communicating with that person could later be maybe send message, call, send sticker, send voice notes, whatever. But the main reason why I got it was I want to communicate with someone. So UX design actually comes from that point of view that okay, people need to communicate. How can we bring a solution that makes it easy for them to communicate? Lo and behold, after thinking, doing research, everything, they landed on okay, let's create a WhatsApp that helps people communicate. So I think I'll just use WhatsApp for like the case study throughout, and then we'll just build on that since we all know what WhatsApp is. So to simply define what UX design is a deep understanding of users' thoughts, their emotions, their behaviors as they navigate through a product. Obviously, definitely, the aim is to design interfaces that are intuitive and visually attractive, but you also have to enhance the user's experience. So now, if I pick up WhatsApp, it's beautiful. I can this thing. I know how to move around. But then it's now like, how do I use it to send a message? I don't like it's confusing. Maybe they said maybe I want to send a voice note, but WhatsApp is insisting that I cannot send voice notes. I can only send message first before I send voice notes. Or I have to send two messages before I can send one voice note. At a point, it will be frustrating and to be annoying. But then when WhatsApp is okay, I want to send voice note, I send the voice note. Oh, I want to send video, I send the video. Oh, I want to send text message, I send text message. I'll be enjoying using WhatsApp and I'll even recommend it for other people to use. So because or landing on the idea that oh, let the user find it able to do whatever they want. If they want to send message, let them send. Not that they have to send two messages before they can send one voice note, or they have to send three messages before they can send one video. I don't know if we've come across any app like that that they say do one two before you can do three, or do one two three, or maybe sign up on this, do this before you can view this. Like it's kind of there's like a friction at the end of the day. So when you are bringing about solutions, and then again, it's now okay, what type of sending message do people like? Do people prefer to do videos, or do people prefer to do text messages, or should we just put all the options there so that whatever they like, they'll choose? All these decisions is where user experience design comes in. So you're understanding the people's thoughts. You're sitting down trying to think from the user's point of view. What would the user like? Then because you are not the user, you still go ahead to do research, talk to one or two people, potential users, which will still like streamline. We'll talk about that, how to know your users, how to create a persona and things like that. So you have an idea that okay, who are my users? For WhatsApp now, users are most likely like from children to adult, in fact everybody really, but mostly let's say from like 5 years, or let's even say from like 4 years to like 80 years will know how to use WhatsApp because it's simple, it's straight to the point. So I can just make a sum, maybe pick one 5 year old, pick one 13-year-old, pick one 50-year-old, maybe pick one youth, one 20-year-old, and just sit them down. Okay, how would you like to send a message? A 80-year-old will say, me, I prefer to send letter. 30-year-old will say, oh, me, I prefer to send voice notes, I prefer to call. Maybe 20-year-old will say, me, I prefer to text. 5-year-old will say, me, I prefer to maybe send sticker or something. So when I now gather all that information, I'm not like, okay, how can I solve all of these people's, or how can I integrate all of these people's preferred way of sending a message into a product that will help them send messages? So that's like me understanding the user's thoughts, their emotions. Are they angry? Like maybe something like a restaurant app now, they're probably coming on the app hungry. So if I'm not wasting their time saying give us a fill a form to know what type of food you like, like I am hungry, I want to order food, don't waste my time trying to find the food. Just give me options of food you have and I'll choose the one I want. So that's where you understand emotions, their behaviors, and then also how easy it will be for them to navigate a product. Over time, so we'll know that okay, let an app be able to zoom for people that maybe can't see well, or let it have good colors so that color blind people, or maybe let it have shapes and colors so that people that don't see color, they will see shape, those type of things. So those are things that go into process of UX design. You're also considering the flow. What's the first step? What's the second step? What's the third step to successfully get to the goal? And then when you've known or figured all of that out, you can now go to the UI designer, or you as the UI designer and say, okay, I know what I'm creating. how can I now bring it to life? Like, okay, now we know we have to bring in text message, bring in this, bring in text message, bring in voice notes, bring in video, everything. The UI person is now like, okay, these are what we want to see, right? How do I arrange it such that someone can easily click on video, click on voice notes, click on send, and it's not clouding the page? That's where the UI designer comes in, and then you now see how they strategically made this thing up. Video and call should be up. Everything sent, that's voice notes and text message, should be down. If they want to know about the user, just click on the name. You can see the person's profile picture, look at the person's name, look at the person's phone number, so that not everything is on the same page, or not everything is just scattered or hidden and you're confused. So I think that's kind of like a summary of how UX and UI design works. I hope I've not confused anybody here. Are we all on the same page? Just give me a thumbs up or a emoji. Are we all on the same page? All right. Thank you. So let's move on. Okay, so to further buttress the point, I know I've explained a lot. Let's just run through the slides. Your user experience design or UX design is a discipline that is focused on creating digital products that are not only functional but enjoyable. So the same way UI should be enjoyable from the standpoint of what I'm looking at, user experience should be enjoyable from the standpoint of me using the application. Let me rephrase. User interface should be enjoyable from what I'm looking and interacting with, while user experience should be enjoyable from literally using the application. So because what I see is good, or I know what to find, what I'm finding, am I actually enjoying using it? Does it actually get the job done? Does it actually give me the results I'm looking for? Am I able to post a picture on Instagram? Am I able to send a message to my friend in whatever country or in whatever state without having any problems or issues? Those are things that go into design. So let's bring it together now. So we know what UI is, we know what UX is. So what is UI UX design? So user interface or user experience design, or also known as UI UX design, is where we bring both UI design. So in large organizations, we literally have a UI designer. We literally have a UX designer. They can even break it down. They have UX writer, UX researcher, UI, maybe interaction designer. Like, it can be broken down and broken down and broken down. But then most of the time, and to a good extent, if you are a UI designer, you should have knowledge of UX. And if you are a UX designer, you should have knowledge of UI. If you now want to streamline, that's up to you. But it's very important to know how both work, so that when you're thinking from, like, you're also understanding why you chose to use this button, why you chose to use this color, or why you think the flow should go this way, knowing that the user would prefer it this way based on your research and things like that. So that's how UI UX works. So it's either a team or a person, apparently. So, but UI UX, basically, UI UX design is the incorporation of UI and UX design. So both the UI design and the emphasis on delivering a satisfying and efficient user experience. So successful UI UX design ensures that the product not only has a great appearance, but also operates smoothly. I mean, what's the point of it being fine if it doesn't get the job done? We also want it to be easy to navigate and fulfill all the requirements and desires of the intended users. When I talk about users, I'm talking about people using an application. So you that goes to www.google.com, you're a Google user. You that goes to youtube.com, you're a YouTube user. You that uses WhatsApp, you're a WhatsApp user. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about users. All right. Okay, so what is UI UX design again? So UI UX design plays a role in driving the success of websites, mobile applications, software programs, and other digital interface. So whatever you see out there, it has an element of UI UX design, because there has to be a lot of understanding of whatever the product is to be able to best serve the users and have the users be able to use them. Okay, so what does a good UX design entail? I think we all understand what UX design is now, right? The experience of the design of the experience, or the understanding of the experience, and then using different tools, being able to communicate that experience or implement that experience in UI design, which is the user interface design. Okay, so for a good product to have a good experience, literally for a good product to have someone use the product and be happy, and we've explained digital products, which is your website, your WhatsApp, your Facebook, everything digital. That game, in fact, literally that game that you are clicking on, that's Call of Duty. For you to enjoy using Call of Duty, one, it has to be usable. Easy. How easy is it for a user to use your product? Do they need to use a manual? Do they need to go on Google? Or can they just figure it out based on experience using other products? How useful is it? Does it solve the user's problem? Or is it just attempting to solve or just wasting the user's time? Does it actually solve the problem? And we've kind of treated that with WhatsApp. What's the point of WhatsApp if I cannot send a message or send a video or send a voice note? It's not useful to me. So is it useful? Is it usable? Is it enjoyable? Do the users enjoy using the product? Is it something that, oh, I'm finding it easy to do that? Oh, if I want to just send I just slide up WhatsApp, send a message, drop the phone and go and sleep? Or is it, I'm angry because it's only WhatsApp I have and I'm looking for Telegram to use? So is it enjoyable to use? Equitable. Is it useful and marketable to people of diverse abilities and backgrounds? So now, I don't know if you guys noticed, you might not have checked this out, but WhatsApp literally, or maybe the keyboard of WhatsApp, or when you're on WhatsApp, allows you to do a voice chat. So people that might maybe be handicapped, maybe they don't have hands, or they have maybe hand problems or whatever, they don't need to type. And even to make it easier, maybe, Google will not understand Nigerian English now. It might now be a case of when I'm saying hello, it's typing hello, whatever. They now kukuku voice notes. So as you say it is how it will be delivered. And then also backgrounds and different people from different phases of life and stuff like that. So is your product useful? Then it's also marketable. WhatsApp uses WhatsApp Business. I know it has channels and it has some other ways they make money. And sometimes if your product is free, you're probably the product. So you didn't hear that from me. But yes, so is it equitable? Is it useful and is it marketable to people of diverse abilities and backgrounds? So yes. There's a word for this. I can't remember right now. But yes, can anybody use your products as much as possible? Because we looked at maybe a 4-year-old to like an 80-year-old can use WhatsApp. But what of that 20-year-old that doesn't have hands? Or what of that 20-year-old that is colorblind, things like that, or even blind, do you get? So things like that. So can you name a website or mobile app you've used and you believe has a good user experience? Let's help some companies. So which product have you used? I mean, now you understand what a product is. So what website or mobile application or web application have you used, or what game did you play that the way the sound came on, the way the graphics was, that I'll play for I'll use from now to tomorrow. I'm really enjoying using this app. I can see OPay, okay. I can see Spotify. I can see Carry. Shout out, you guys sponsor us. I can see Canva, okay. Pound Pay. I can see Jumia, okay. FCMB. That's nice. I can see OPay. I'm seeing a lot of OPay, and to be honest, I love OPay. Like, it's really straight to the point. I can see WhatsApp, I can see Canva, I can see Figma. That is the new one. I can see Figma, okay. I can see UBA app, I can see Pixel app, Candy Crush. Yes, Candy Crush is quite enjoyable to use. And YouTube, yes, it's very easy to use YouTube. Spotify. Let's move on. Okay. All right, so let's just recap UI design and UX design. So UI design is concerned with design elements like font, colors, icons, layouts, as even as far as sound, animation, graphics. Like, is it 3D elements they are using or 2D elements? We'll treat all of that. What is the branding for the company? We'll get to all of that. But yeah, it's associated with design elements, what you see. It's also associated with design systems. We'll get to that. That's where you define, okay, what font am I using for this application? What color am I using for this application? It's like a brand guide, and a brand guide that would help whoever else is going to work on that app after probably you leave or joins you to work on it. That's what design systems are for. It's also associated with motion design. I don't know if any of you have noticed when you're using an app and it's like something is bouncing or your mouse will go on something, everything on the page will follow your mouse. That's another thing. And then interactions, like maybe when you click, how does the new page come in? Maybe the best example is all these PowerPoints. I don't know if you've seen all these PowerPoint presentation. When they will click, the whole screen will bounce like 3 times before it shows the next slide. Website as well, you might not notice this, but there are actually interactions behind the scenes, like, okay, let it ease out, let it slide down, let it slide up, let it turn around and appear, let there be a loading screen before something comes up. So that's where interactions come in. Or when you like now, I don't know, like something like boats now, maybe I don't know if you've seen a boat driver when he's starting a trip, he slides to start the trip. So that sliding is literally an interaction. Then we have prototyping, which we'll treat in Figma. That's how you link the pages together, what comes next and stuff. Then design responsiveness, how responsive is it? So on a mobile screen, how does it look? On a tablet, how does it look? On a computer screen, on a TV, we'll treat all of that. How does it look? So UX design is more focused on user persona. So we'll treat that. User persona is kind of a profile of your user. So we get information from a lot of potential users, and then we create that, okay, my ideal user is this person based on all I've collected. So you can have like 2 or 3 to just define, to help define your user for your product or for your design and stuff. Then user journey, that's like, okay, where would they start, where would they end? We'll treat all of that. User flows, what comes first, what page comes before this page, why does this page come before this page? That's the user flow. So you understand, UI is more of what I see, UX is more of the experience. Information architecture too. I don't know if you've seen, how will I start this now, or how will I explain this? You know this organogram that they'll say CEO, maybe CTO, CA, all those organogram shadow, say team lead, associate, junior, intern, all those ones, like organogram showing the lineage of the people in the company. So, and then because there are a lot of people in the company, you can start with, okay, for product department, we have the products, or maybe vice president of product design. We have the team lead of product. Then you have the maybe you have the senior product designer, associate product designer, junior product designer, product design intern. Then you now start again for engineering. We have back end, we have front end, we have head of engineering. We now have back end and front end. We now have head of front end, head of maybe mobile design, head of whatever, exactly like a flow chart. So that's kind of, no, it's not like a flow chart. Information architecture is just organizing what comes before what and why it comes before what. Like every information, let me use WhatsApp as an example. There's literally a flow for sending a message. There's a flow for sending a voice note. There's a flow for placing a call. There's a flow for placing a video call. And then it's like, okay, let's stack everything in order of how it should come and in what way it should come. So that's kind of like how information architecture works. Then also there are other parts of the system like status. What else can you do on WhatsApp? Help me here. Broadcast message, things like that. Export your chats and so on. Then yeah, like a hierarchy. Exactly, that is the word, hierarchy. Then we now have usability testing. Users come and try this app. Does it work? Does it not work? Does it get the job done? Should we rephrase on how the flow should work? Maybe before we'll say scroll through 10 million contacts, but now you can literally just search. So which one did they prefer? Did they prefer to scroll or they prefer to search? Those type of things. And then we have UX writing, we have UX research. Okay. So drum roll. Let us go into product design. So what is product design? I think this let's say diagram helps. So product design is not just UI UX as we deem fit or as we have come to know. Product design is user experience, yes, business research and development, business strategy, brand experience, UI design, visual design, and everything that has to do with the digital product. So I'm not just designing, I'm not just giving solution, I'm actually thinking of how these products can work, how I can improve on this product, what needs to be in this product, from where do I create this product, on what platform should this product be on, and every literal thing that goes into the birth of this product, which could be any digital product. All right. So what's product design? So let's start again. Products solve problems and create value. What's the point of a product if it doesn't get the job done? I think maybe that should be our motto. What's the point of a product if it doesn't get the job done? So everything created by humans was designed by someone. And design is not just how it looks, it's how it works. So design is about finding solutions to the problems that you're trying to solve. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. So you're trying to solve a problem. What are the solutions to solve that problem? And then let's just come to that design like you're a creator. You're literally solving a problem. You're not just designing. This even graphic design, you're not just designing. I don't even know the okay, maybe art. It's art that's the one that you're just designing. Although there's some art that you're not just designing because some art encompass history and culture. So even as you're still designing, you're still consulting. Okay, how did they draw Moana in the past, or what is trending? So I don't even think any design just comes. All designs, unless maybe you're doodling or whatever, is actually thought about, and it now comes to what is the purpose of what I'm creating. And in product design is how am I solving a problem? I think that's literally how we can approach it. How am I going to solve this problem? Okay. So product design is the act of designing a product that solves a specific problem. Remember, WhatsApp, everything and anything inside WhatsApp that you see from today to tomorrow, the end product or the end result is communication. If it's not supporting communication, I don't think it's needed there. Like maybe having a word, which one, what thing would not be useful in WhatsApp? Let me see. Maybe making beats, like music beats, or maybe doing PowerPoint. Like it's not needed. It could be there, maybe as a to support your message present, but it's not needed. So when you're now coming to WhatsApp and you're seeing things like maybe play a game, or I don't even know, it's like I came here to send message, I came here to communicate. Why am I seeing this here? So yeah, every product solves a specific problem, and the process of developing, ideating, and refining products to meet user needs and market designs is what we call product design. I hope we're all together. So based on your study so far, what can you say is the difference between UI UX and product design? I just have like 2 minutes. What can you say about product design, UI UX design? Are they the same thing? Are they different? Are you still confused about what it might be? Like, just if you are confused, just state I am confused, and I will explain. If you are not confused, then just what do you understand now, like product design and UI UX design? Okay, Jeffrey. Product design is the act of designing a product that solves a specific problem. That's good. That's good. Who else wants to attempt? Hey, you're confused. Okay, so I'll come back to it. But do any of you want to attempt the definition? Yes, the PDF will be made available to each and every one of you. Yes, exactly, Laurie. It's different, but it works together. Exactly. Okay. 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 They are related, but it's not like they are related. It's more like product design encompasses it in solving the problem. Exactly. Yeah, I won't exactly say it's the mother word because it's beyond just the product. Like it's beyond just what you see when it comes to product design. We're thinking about so many other things. We're thinking about country, we're thinking about compliance, we're thinking about the users, demographic, what device is available to them. Is as deep as that when it comes to product design. Okay. All right, so for those that are confused, I'll just recap. UI UX design. UI design is focused on the visuals. UX is focused on the experience of the product. So now we have products, we have the phone, or we have whatever. Inside, how does moving around this phone, is it easy? Is it good? UI. UX, sorry, how is moving around? Is it easy? Is it good? Do I get the job done of calling, texting, going on an app? UX. UI. Can I literally click and get the result I'm looking for? Can I find that app I want to download? UI. The fact that this phone exists, product. And before this phone exists, I've thought about the price, I've thought about the user, I've thought about where it will be sold, I've thought about who will use it, how would they use it, I've thought about how would they charge it, I've thought about um stakeholders, I'm talking about how much budgets do we have, I've thought about everything to make sure these products can exist basically before I now start putting the design or figuring out whatever flow will be on the phone. I hope that explains better. If we're still confused, we can signify. Yes, yes. We're still confused. Joseph said product design is about it, design the physical aspect, not just the physical aspect, is knowing why this product should exist. Because now when I want to solve a problem, is I've figured out what is the best way to solve this problem. It's now when I now know the best way to solve the problem that I'll now start designing the solution or making the solution work. I even need to solve that problem first. And then when the product is out, I need to know that this product is actually solving the problem. Or what do I need to adjust to make it solve the problem? Or what do I need to add or remove to ensure it's still solving the problem? That's what product design is. While UI UX design is just okay, product is inside my hand, let me be going. But product design is, does this thing solve the problem? Are there features we can add to make it continue solving the problem? Are there things we should remove so that it can continue to solve the problem? Are there research we need to keep making to know that okay, maybe this thing doesn't solve the problem, let's make something else that can solve the problem? Do you get? Okay, so I think let me just go on. We'll understand better as we continue. So UI UX design now is deals with the visual aspects of a product and how users interact with it. They are focused on making the product experience easy. So now UI UX design is more focused on the product in itself, like WhatsApp. While product design is focused about WhatsApp and everything that has to do with WhatsApp. We'll understand better as we continue. So UI UX design, it focuses with the visual aspect of the product and how users interact with it. It focuses on the experiences, WhatsApp easy to use. It ensures that WhatsApp is enjoyable to use. It's responsible for understanding the user, doing research and everything to ensure that WhatsApp works, delivers a smooth and satisfying experience. Beautiful. But product design will talk to everybody, talked like the design is going out, I'm calling the engineer, fam, this thing must look like what you saw, I don't want to see something else. And if you cannot implement it, tell me so that we can design something else that can be implemented. And then with talking to the marketers, can you guys sell this thing we have? Is there something customers are asking for? Business stakeholders, are you guys willing to budget fund this thing? Can you pay all of us salary? And then even users, do you want this thing? Do you actually need it? Do you already have a solution that works? Then it encompasses UI UX. Definitely, we can't have a product without UI UX. Then I want to understand the user's needs. I want to understand the market trends. I want to understand what innovative solution can I bring in to stand out, and then creating the designs to balance aesthetics, functionality, and feasibility. So it's not just about, I'm sure, I don't know if we've come across any app that looks good but doesn't work, or maybe all these, like some of these posts on Dribble, I be like, this thing looks very well, but in real life it doesn't work. Like, is it when we're going through 50 emails that is one scroll that we'll have when I can't even search? Like, that slows down the entire process. Like, we need to make sure it works and it's feasible. And then I'm also overseeing the entire life cycle from initial concept to final production, and even post final production, because sometimes we need to iterate, like, okay, should we go back to the drawing board and know why this is working or why this is not working? So that's where product design comes in. So who is a product designer? A product designer is someone that does product design, basically. And why is the product designer important, as well as the skill set of the product designer? So we're going to be diving deep in that next. So are we all on the same page? All right. So a product designer determines how. Sorry. Okay, so a product, sorry about that. A product designer determines how a product should work based on business goals and the great user experience. Remember, it's about the user, but then it's not just about the user. So, based on the business goals, it's not like a fintech company will start budgeting with a game, or a gaming company will start budgeting with PowerPoint. What company do we have, and what is the solution that we're offering? Then also, definitely there should be a great user experience. Then product designers create products that are not only user friendly and enjoyable, but also are fine-tuned for success in the marketplace. So a product designer creates products that are not only user friendly and enjoyable, but also fine-tuned for success in the marketplace. Then also, product designers play a key role in defining the product goals, developing roadmaps, and assisting brands in launching successful products. So I'll say that again. One, a product designer determines how a product should work based on the business goals and having a great user experience. A product designer creates products that are not only user friendly and enjoyable, but also are fine tuned for success in a marketplace. Then lastly, a product, like, is it light? Is it easy to download? Is it something that, not like something you download, is it like 10 gig and there's no even space on your phone to use? So you're considering all those things when these products are being developed. Then also, a product designer plays a key role in defining the product goals, developing roadmaps, and assisting brands in launching successful products, something that actually works. Okay. So product design can be considered as the superset of user interface and user experience. So now, user interface and user experience is just give me a product that works. But product design is more focused on, yes, it works and it solves your problem. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, so however, product designer goes beyond just creating user interfaces. It also involves aligning with the business goals, conducting user research, and developing product strategies and much more. No, a successful designed UI UX, a successful UI UX design product is not product design. A product design, I'm confusing myself. You asked if, Owolabi, to be clear, you asked if a successful UI UX design is the same as product design, right? Now, even if you do UI UX design well, if it doesn't solve the problem, or maybe it goes out and users don't like it or have an issue using it, it's not successful anymore because it doesn't get the job done. So a product designer looks at all these things. There are tests done that okay, there's like a demo phase, like okay, try this thing out. Does it actually get the job done? And then product designer will know that oh, this is truly successful, or I need to go back to the drawing board to correct one or two things or add one or two features entirely. Like going back to the drawing board could be as much as oh yeah, we need to even create a new solution entirely but keep the same name of the brand. So that's where product design comes. It's not just designing and leaving, like you're following up that this product gets the job done. That's why I said that like our motto could be like solving problems. If your product doesn't solve the problem, then what's the point of the product? Do you get? Okay, so a product manager has his own work. But remember that a product designer is doing all of these things from the point of design. Okay, maybe that's one thing I should have stated from the beginning. Before I add this color, I have thought about A to Z. I'm not just adding the color because the color is beautiful. Product manager is ensuring that this product, if you like have blue, red, yellow, I want this product to be successful. Do you understand? Or does that make more sense? Okay, so let's go on. So why is a product designer important? A product designer, so we're going on a short break soon, but let me just quickly run through things about a product designer and then we'll go on a break. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat and then we'll treat it when we come back and then we'll go into design thinking. All right. So maybe another disclaimer, maybe I should have mentioned this earlier. Everything a product designer is doing is looking at the point of view from a designer. So even though I'm talking to the engineer, I'm still like the reason I'm talking to the engineer is do I need to change my design because of you? Or do I need to update this design based on the user? Then you have to make sure this design comes out. If that makes sense. Like everything I'm doing is from design perspective. Whatever flow we end up with is because that flow is better for the user. Whatever decision we come up with is to solve the problem of the user as a designer. And then me following up through to the end is okay, this product works. There's nothing to update, there's nothing to add. Let's continue till a new trend comes in and I like, oh, instead of us using color, or maybe instead of us using human being, let's use cartoon because of the new trend. I'll go back to design cartoon. Does this cartoon work with our brand? Those type of things. Okay, so why is a product designer important? A product designer owns the entire process of creating an exceptional user experience from start to finish of or a product idea. Then a product designer owns the entire process of creating an exceptional user experience from start to okay, that was a duplicate. So start to finish of a product idea and then start to finish like creating an exceptional user experience in itself. Then also this product designer has the skills to empathize with users. I'm not just for the some people will say I want an application that maybe something, let's say something like open now, people should be able to send their message, sorry, send their money from one person to another. There are so many ways to design something that can send money from one person to another. But how easy is it for someone to actually send money from one person to another? And what little solutions? One thing I like about OPay is that I don't need to save as beneficiary before I find the person I've sent money to before. But so many bank apps, like there's one I will not mention, it is Orange. You have to save as beneficiary or you have to go to your transaction history before you can send to someone you have sent before. But OPay, you just go straight, type the name. You might not even know the account number, just type the name. If you have sent money to the person before, the person's name will come out and you can send your money, which is actually a very good solution and it's beyond just sending money from one person to another. So that's where a product designer comes in, or that's one of the benefits of having a product designer. It's not just a product, it's a product that works and a product that makes life easy for the user and is enjoyable to use. Yeah. And then definitely translates the needs of the users into tangible product solutions. All right. So what are the skill sets to have or develop as a product designer? Very, very important. You should have effective communication. You should have effective communication. So communicate, because you have to communicate with different teams and stakeholders. Stakeholders could be your users, could be your boss, could be your guy. You could be anybody literally to get the job done. So you should very much be able to communicate. Like now, if you're adding a new feature, you should be able to communicate with people that are involved in processing or executing that feature. Visual design, you need to understand layouts and patterns, typography. Like you need to understand how design works. There's design and there's design. You just need to know what works. Now we're not saying be the most talented, whatever, but in the basic, what color, because we'll still treat color theories, we'll treat color psychology, we'll treat typography and things like that. So you need to understand how layout pattern, not that you put yellow, green, whatever, purple, you now put one line like this, and you tell me that you have created a hero section. That is not a hero section, that is an artwork that belongs in a gallery, not on a website. So you need to understand visual design and how it works. Then also critical thinking. You need to know how to think critically and yeah, think through the design process. I'm sure we understand like with everything I've said that we need to know how design thinking works. So I've said that we need to understand what goes on behind design. Definitely, as you practice more, as you learn more, these things come naturally because you know it by default. Now, like now, if you tell me to design a website, I don't have to start going on Google. What color or what font should I have? Like a list of fonts that I know that oh, these fonts can work for websites. And I say, okay, do you have brand guide that can guide the fonts we should use? Or should I just use these fonts I know by default? Like things just come by default natural. Like I know, oh, these two colors don't work. But before I have to go and see color theory. Does this color match with this color? Or does this color match with this color? But over time, you just know what works. And then also to critical thinking, I know that in the navigation, home comes first. You cannot come and say home should come second. I have like as you gain experience, you just know home comes first, and home icon is house. You can't say you want home icon to be heart. Anybody that sees that heart will first think his favorite or heart or like before they think of it as home. So critical thinking that goes on behind the scenes or subconsciously over time, and then definitely problem solving. So don't just look at the symptoms, you need to address the root cause of the issue, and this is where research comes in. This is where you um talk to your users and everyone that is involved in the whole process. Then definitely it's user centric. Understand the user's needs and design for them. Everything you do is for the user. You don't design, like I know there'll be cases where they'll say, oh, um just think it. What's the point of thinking it if users are not thinking that way, right? So you need to see things from the user's perspective if you want it to work well. Just because you experience your product, like just because I know issues I've had maybe using bank apps doesn't mean I can build the perfect bank app. I still need to see other users and know issues they encounter, because everybody use applications for different reasons. For some people they're using to pay salary, for some people they're using to collect money from multiple clients. Me, my own might just be sent from me to my friend or sent from me to that shopkeeper. So I need to see things from different users perspective. Then prototyping and iteration. A product designer should know how to prototype, refine, iterate designs continuously based on the feedback and testing. Like whatever feedback I get, I can now come up with a new solution or make better my existing solution. So with that being said, we're going to be going on a break. So if you have any questions, please compile your questions and put it in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer each and every one of you when I come back. All right, so let's continue. Welcome back, every one of you. So I saw a question. Remember, you can always put your questions in the comment section, and I'll try my best to attend to each and every one of them. All right, so yeah, all the slides would be made available to you guys after the classes, so you'll be able to go through them again. All right, so there was a question that said, some apps recommend other apps for better experience, like Facebook and Messenger. So, well, I say the reason for apps like that is if the core functionality of the app is on a different solution. I'll explain. So something like Facebook now, Facebook is really broad and wide. There are so many things you can do on Facebook. There are so many things that can be represented on Facebook. And for some people, they're like, I don't need all of this. I just want to chat with somebody. And they're like, okay, even if you can chat on Facebook, you might want to only chat. Then just go ahead to Messenger and do all your chatting. Something, have like your own version of WhatsApp here and just chat your chat instead of having to deal with someone posted, someone liked your image, someone commented. Like if it's chatting you want, go to Messenger. And if you still want to chat and still receive someone liked your post, you can stay on Facebook. And apparently they are owned by the same company. So even if they're recommending another app, they're still like focus on something that the solution alone no is text message, sorry, is chatting or whatever, is communication, while us here is more of a social media platform, while Facebook is more of a social media platform. Same with, I think, Google. So Google, when you Gmail, when you receive an email that is maybe a PDF or a Microsoft Word, you can view it in the Gmail. But they will say, okay, if you want to edit, you want to go the step further and have this solution. Like we have a solution that helps you to edit documents beautiful, like in more detail, like change the color, change the text, or write something or sign. We have a platform for that, which is Google Slides, Google Docs. You can now open it in Google Docs, but you can view it normally in Gmail. But if you're on Gmail, or Gmail is focused on sending and receiving emails, scheduling, whatever, calendar, and the rest. But if you now say, oh, I want to edit this Microsoft Word document, you don't have that solution in Gmail, but we have a solution that can help you. So we have linked Google Docs. Click here to edit. So I think that answers the question for where third-party apps are suggested in an application, which is most likely owned by the company, really. It's just giving you a different platform to focus more on the solution. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Let me see the name. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so let's continue. Are we all here? I'm seeing a lot of you guys have noted your attendance. Billionaire, is that your real name? That's nice. So Ella, Billionaire Ella, is coding needed for product design? No, but it will help if you have coding knowledge. But it's not needed because you don't code. But understanding how coding works can influence your design. So especially, I think I understood design responsiveness more when I was coding or when I had to code for a website than when I was doing your normal UI UX or product. I think then I was doing UI UX design. When I was doing normal UI UX or product design, then I understood design responsibility more from coding. So when I was doing all the media queries, now when I was like, oh, so this is even this stuff that always can fit on different screens, and then I now, oh, so this is how to do it on Figma. So yes, coding experience helps, but it's not needed to get the job done. Yeah. So are there any other question? What is the major factor driving product design? Solving a problem. Solving a problem with a digital solution. That's it. That is literally it. And then you design the solution and then just try to implement it and watch it be implemented in the best way possible. I think that's it. That's I hope that answers your question, Victory. Are there any other questions? Okay. All right, so let's go on. We'll get to the software you use, but the one we'll be using majorly will be Figma. I don't know if you've heard of Figma. If you can download Figma, but there's also a web version for Figma. So once you have a laptop, you can use Figma. All right. You don't need data analytics to design a product, but it helps because the results from data gotten, which you will still have to process, can influence the design you choose for your product. So now it's easier to just have a data analyst show you the records or the details. There was a project we're working on, and then literally we're able to know that okay, this was the drop off rate, this was the point in the design that users stopped continuing or users just left or logged out or something. So that influence, okay, we need to work on this section of the page or this section of the flow. So data analytics helps, but you don't have to be the data analyst to use data analytics. But understanding of it too would help your design. So yeah. So let's just keep our questions. There'll hopefully still be time to answer questions at the end of the class. All right, so let's continue. So I think we've said this. Like I'm ahead of my slides basically. All right. So let me just take one more question. Can someone employed as a product designer separately and UI, if you're employed as a product designer, you're kind of expected to do UI UX design. Okay, can someone be employed as a product designer separately and UI and UX? Yes, you can be a core UI designer, you can be a core UX designer, you can be a product designer. Yes, you can be employed as individual. So there's like this part where you can specialize, and a specialization is basically where you now say, okay, I understand what I'm doing, but I find designing screens easier. So let me just focus on that. So let me design the best screens you see, implementing whatever solution I'm given to implement. And like I said earlier, in larger organizations, we have core people. So instead of someone that, I mean, something like Google now, one person cannot sit down and think of everything. There's Google Photos, Google Drive, you cannot kill them. So it's easier to have people managing different solutions or different products. So someone is managing Google Slides, someone is managing Google Sheets, someone is managing Google photos, and then when is now a UI change, UI designer make this update, UX designer, are you done with the research? Those type of things. So yeah, in large organizations, we have cases where we have core specialized designers in different fields and areas than maybe a startup that one person is everything. How much you collect is based on your experience and your negotiation and your portfolio, which we'll still treat later on. Yes, a product designer can do a UI UX designer role. You, as a product designer, does your work relate to a developer, or how does your work? Yeah, whatever you design is what you hand over to the developer. We'll treat handover later on in this course. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, there's a difference between product designer and product manager. For product designer, whatever you do, everything understanding the product is from the point of a designer. Same with engineer, whatever he or she is looking at the product is from the point of either a back-end or front-end developer or engineer. So whatever you do to ensure the product works just from the point of view you're operating from. So and then product manager encompasses everything, like the entire product. So it's not just design wise or solution wise. Now step out to marketing and other things. I'm literally like a project management for the products. Yeah. Yeah. Product design is David. Okay, so I think for what you're trying to say is like product design is like medical practitioner or something. Why UI UX is a specialist? No. I'm saying you can have a UI designer and a UX designer and a product designer. But when you're talking about UI UX in itself and product design, they are two different things. Oh yes, yes, yes. Yeah. I think you're correct actually. You're correct. You're correct. You're correct. Okay. So I'll continue this class because we have to finish our slides before 9. So what's design thinking? Now we are starting to think like a designer, yeah? And to think like a designer is where you think like a designer. And then there are different steps to this. So we want to empathize, you want to define, there's ideating, there's prototyping, and there's testing. Don't worry, this looks like big, big grammar, but I'll try to break it down as much as possible. So empathize basically is like understanding the user, define is okay, what is the problem? Empathize is when you're understanding the user to identify the problem. So maybe someone is like, I'm having issues communicating. Why and how are you finding having issues communicating? What is the problem? Is it that you can't communicate? Because you can send a letter, you can do a phone call, you can use text message. What exactly do you want? So maybe the problem itself is I can communicate, so but it's expensive to be doing phone call and it's expensive to be doing text message. So I prefer something that is cheaper. So now I'm defining the problem. So now I'm not just creating something that I can use to communicate. I'm actually solving the problem of before I'll send a message. Even I don't know if you can send messages to international numbers, but I know you can call international numbers and it's more expensive than calling a local number. So that's one problem WhatsApp is solving. And then there's also the time. I don't want to have to wait 1 day or 2 weeks before someone gets my letter. I want to be able to just press send, and the person gets the information immediately. So that's another problem WhatsApp is solving. So that's where you define, okay, what is the problem going on and we're all solving. Then ideate, that's where you brainstorm. Okay, how can we solve this problem? Before we even arrive at WhatsApp, what are the different solutions? Okay, is it that we should have something that people can send? Okay, even though we have something that can send, is there anything existing that does that? How can we approach this thing to successfully solve all these problems that were defined? Then prototyping, this is where we actually develop the system, design WhatsApp, try to create, okay, this can solve it. Because I don't know, I mean, we're all old and young, but I don't know the people that actually started with WhatsApp. I think I started with WhatsApp on my BlackBerry. This was like when I was in secondary school or so. And we started from WhatsApp was only text message. We graduated to WhatsApp can do voice notes. We graduated to WhatsApp can do call. We graduated to WhatsApp can do video call. Before we now saw status has joined. So you prototype a possible solution and then you now start testing. Does it get the job done? Are there feedback? Are there pinging, thank you, are there things we should add, we should remove? So that's you just thinking from the point of view as a designer. So you empathize, what's the problem, you define the problem, you think, okay, how can I solve this problem? You create a prototype, just like architecture. Now you create, okay, this is not the house, so but this is how the house can look like. Then you test it, can this house stand? You talk to everybody. um this house that I've built, engineer, can you work? Plumber, can you work? Painter, can you paint this color? Then you test, you show the user, this is the house we designed for you. I don't like that. Can my roof be like this? If I want to put solar panel, where will the solar panel stay? Oh, sorry, we'll go and change the color, we'll go and change the shape of the roof. So I think that's just how we can just summarize the thinking process. So let's move on to more details. So design thinking is a set of principles used to solve complex problems. I think now we understand what a problem is. A problem is literally a problem. Like, okay, what are people finding hard to do? What do people want done that will now bring the existence of whatever products you want to create? and their complex problems. Before we had things like WhatsApp, Telegram, Messenger, it was a complex problem. Like people could not understand that how can I send, like in the days of letters, let's even go all the way back. When people were still sending letter, write, stamp, give post office, people could not understand that I could sit in my house and be talking to someone in another country. People had to sit down and say, how can someone sit in their house and be talking to somebody in another country? So it was a complex problem, and we don't even know the list of solutions they came with. Maybe they said someone will use car to drive fast to deliver the letter, or someone can use phone. Oh yeah, we use phone. How will we send it? Is it that we'll use network, we'll use water, we'll use, like, it was a complex problem. They had to think and figure out and get out a solution. And definitely again, design thinking is user centric. What's the point of something if it's not, if the user cannot use it and if it does not get the job done? So everything you are building is because of the user and for the user. So it's very much user centric, and we define what a user is: the user of the platform. Whoever uses the platform is the user. Big, old, young, yeah, the user. And then it focuses on humans first, seeking to understand their needs the right way. I know we've come across some companies like, give me tomorrow. Like, if you want this thing done tomorrow, it's probably on my idea. But if you want to actually have something that will work in the long term and deliberately done, I have to research the users and what they want. And then after understanding their needs, I can give you something of a whole lot more value, maybe in the next 2 weeks or in the next 3 weeks or in the next 3 months, depending on the project, and then coming up with effective solutions to meet those needs. So first is user centric. It's focused on the humans, and then we're trying to understand their needs and come up with the best solutions to meet those needs. And after we now figure out the solution, implementation can go on. So I hand over to whoever is developing it. I follow through. Manager is ensuring that during this sprint, this has to come out. While this one is coming out, yeah, you focus on the second problem, those type of things. Yeah. So the five phases of design thinking we have looked at are kind of summarized before. Let's just dive a little deeper. So we have the empathize, define, ideas, prototype, test. And empathize, like I said, this is where you learn about your audience, you learn about your user. Define, this is where you construct the point of view based on user needs. This is where you understand, okay, this is what they want to, like, this is the problem they're having that we want to, okay, to the start figuring out the solutions to the problem. Then brainstorm, this is coming up with creative solutions and talking with the team, talking with everybody, how can we solve this problem? Prototyping, this is where you build a representation of your ideas. Okay, this is how it can look. Does this work? Does this not work? And that's what brings us to testing, figuring out if whatever we have designed works or does not work. And then if it doesn't work, we'll go back to the drawing board. And then also testing is where maybe they've developed, they've released it, and then we have feedback, and then we'll go back to the drawing board. So that's basically the process. So we're gonna have a quiz for you guys that are here. You might not know the for you guys that are just joining, there's something we did in our last cohort or our last product design session. That's why we have quizzes in every class. We have our assignments. I'll still get to that. Assignments, do it, try as much as possible to do before the next class and submit. But we'll have a quiz. And then the quiz is just simple questions to know that you understood everything I've been saying. If you have questions, please still put it in the chat box in the comment section, and then I'll try my best to attend to that. So for the quiz, I think the link will be put in the chat section. So that everybody has access to it. Maybe let the assignment be showing then. Because that slide, I got feedback that there might be an issue with it. So let the link just be shared with you all, and then we'll start on the quiz. So participants can join now. I'm sure you must have received the quiz link. Let us start joining. Okay. So you get the link now. So as you get the link, just join because time has gone. But also prepare your questions too. All right. So let's start joining the class so that we can have the quiz. So let's start joining the quiz so that we can start the quiz and everybody will be on the same page. So I need you guys to go to slido.com, slido.com. This is Slido here, www.slido.com. This QR link doesn't work, so just go to www.slido.com, slido.com, slido.com. The link has been posted in the chat, so just check the chat to join the quiz. We're going to have a quiz. It's an online quiz, okay? So the link to join has been pasted in the chat, in the comment section in the chat, okay? But go to www.slido.com and then you can join from there. Okay, people have started joining. That's awesome. So let's all join. Let's all join. The quiz link is in the comment section. Then the code to join is 142. People that went to slido.com, the code you should enter is 1428799. I'll say that again. 1428799. 1428799. So two options. You can click on the link in the comment section. If maybe you're having network issues, go to slido.com, slido.com. But the link you should enter should be 1428799. 1428799. All right, people are joining now. Okay, we have 102. So let me just wait for a few more minutes and then we'll start the quiz. Let's hurry, let's hurry. We have about 5 minutes for the quiz. People that can't see the link in the comment section, go to slido.com, slido.com, just like on this slide, slido.com. But the code you should put in, not the one you are saying, the code you should put in is 1428799. 1428799. Okay, the link isn't connecting. Just go to slido.com on another device on your phone and then type the code 1428799. All right, so we'll be starting shortly. Okay. All right, so the quiz will be starting now. Amazing. 1428799. That's the code 1428799. All right, so let's start. So the first question has gone. Amazing. So I hope you all got the answers to the question. No? The answer is the process of developing products. The answer is B. What product design is? Um, you're creating products to solve users' needs. You're creating products to solve user needs. So that's the answer to the question. So what's the difference between product design and UI UX design? Let's answer the next one. Okay, so the answer to that is product design involves creating the entire product, while UI UX design involves focuses on the user's experience and interface of the digital product. Product design focuses on creating the entire product. So the next question is up. Okay, I'll just wait till the end and then we'll answer everything. So UI UX design is for user interface and user experience. Go on. If the link is taking long, just go to slido.com and the code is for 1428799. 1428799. Thank you all so much. Okay, so the code, sorry, I saw a question. Why is it time based? It is a live quiz. So let me just quickly run through the answers. I noticed while I was talking, I might have been distracting some people. So let me run through the answers to the quiz. So first one is, and then we have a top five. If we got 5 over 5, congratulations. And we have a top five. We have Aki Ade Faith, Olorun Toyin, Ade Niyi Rehoboth, Ezekiel Igodaro, and Timothy. Congratulations, all of you. Got 5 over 5 and at the actual top five. So let me just go on to the answers. We're having this because a live quiz, so that it's not a case of you join later. That's why it's important you join the classes as it's happening. It's hot, hot. Okay, so the answers. The first one, what best describes product design? I'm sure a number of us missed the which I'm shocked, but it's the process of developing products that solve problems and meet user needs. Now, emphasize what's the point of a product if it doesn't solve a problem and doesn't solve the problem of the user. So, product design is you're developing a product that solves problems and meets user needs. Okay, so the next one is, what is the primary difference between product design and UI UX design? So product design involves creating the entire product, while UI UX design focuses on the user experience and interface of digital products. Okay. Product design is creating entire products, while UI UX design focuses on the experience and interface. Now I've tried to explain both. One is on the product, one is about the product. Then which statement is true about UI UX design? UI UX design involves creating both the user interface and ensuring a smooth user experience. UI is focused on the look. I can use this app, I can interact with this app, and then the experience is every step I have to go through to get the job done. Then, in the context of design thinking, what is the purpose of the empathize stage? Why do we empathize? Why do we have to understand the user? It's because we want to identify and understand the user's needs and challenges, which would then help us to be able to define the problem. Okay, so that's the most important thing about the empathize phase. Then what is the second stage in design thinking process? Define. Remember, we have empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. If you're unable to attend the quiz, don't worry, you're fine. But I've tried to run through the questions and answers so that you still have an idea of what was asked and all. The next class, don't worry, we'll have another one. So fear not, it's amazing. It's not adding or removing from your marks, just for you to understand the class better. All right. And then I think we'll add more time. I'm seeing people that weren't able to read it entirely, so we'll add more time to subsequent quizzes. Don't cry, don't worry. This is your first class. We don't judge. It's okay. We're all learning. So that now brings us to another important part of today. We're going to have assignment. Now, this one will affect your score. The first one is just a quiz, but this one is important. So, your assignment: what do you understand by UI UX design? What do you know about UI design? Why are both of them important in product design? So, do this assignment. You can do it using Google Docs. You can use it using any platform. Just have something you can submit, and we would look at them, and then we'll note that you have submitted your assignment, and then if you have any questions, we'll look at that too. So thank you all very much. This was an awesome class. I had fun. I enjoyed this class very much. I hope you enjoyed it too. So with that being said, do we have any questions? Logos. We listen, we don't judge. All right. So do you have any questions before we call it an awesome night? How do we submit? That will be communicated to you after this. So yeah. 114th position. That is still awesome. You have a position. Some people were not able to attempt the quiz. The slides will be given to you after this class, and you'll be able to do the assignment as well. Okay, so thank you, Pastor Lejo. I really hope I pronounced your name well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad you all love this class. You can reach out to my LinkedIn if you still have further questions. You can send me an email, or you could just talk to any of your coordinators, and then they'll communicate to us. I hope you all enjoy this class. Yeah, any assignments, all your assignments would be communicated to you how you should submit. And people that haven't joined the WhatsApp group, an email will be sent to you concerning that as well. All right. So, do you have any questions? Let me just wait for like 2 more minutes. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you so much, Yakubu. Thank you all. Yeah, so the next class will be communicated to you. We still have two this week, I think on Thursday and Friday. So we'll have our classes then. All right. So if without in the absence of questions, don't worry. If you still have, maybe you watch it, you maybe had network problems, you can always send your questions in the next class, and then because there'll be like a lucky recap. So if you have any questions, we'll treat that afterwards. Yeah. All right. All information concerning the assignment to be sent to you. Thank you all so much for your time. I had an amazing time. I wish you all an awesome night. Good night, and God bless you.
I am a software engineer at one of the leading tech firms in Europe, but my journey started right here in Ogun State, Nigeria. As a teenager, I always wanted to be a medical doctor, but I found joy in coding during a 7-day digital bootcamp in 2016. Today, I work as a software engineer at one of the world's leading blockchain startups, and I've also worked with other engineering teams across 3 continents. My name is Shedrack. I earn well and thrive in a career that I love.
It's safe to say I learned a skill and became a global talent. You can too.